There's a white button.
Okay, it says I'm live right now. People were joining. After I went live, people were joining. Like right now. Try and join it.
Hold on. Oh, I just got the notification.
Yeah, so did they.
Notification? Yeah, you're good. You're live.
Yeah, so did they.
I didn't get a notification from you before.
So now I have and you were
You're
able to,
live.
you can see me?
Good.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right, Mama. Thanks for the tech support.
Well, hold on. Let me log in on my laptop. Just
Okay.
correct.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Keith? What's
Okay,
up,
people
James
can
Pretty?
see now.
What's up, Tim? What's up, Jonathan? Lud Truck. There he is. I don't know what's going on. Oh, Lufthansa. Nice. 747 flying by. I don't know what's going on. Lately, my lives have been failure to launch. I did everything the same each time. They all didn't work. And then Jessica watches me do it and bing, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle. All right, Mama, you going?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. So anyways, hi, Lori. What's up, Big Paul? John? Nah, Bill. I hope I said that right. Big Don, Susan, Tim. Let me make this thing bigger so I don't have to put my glasses on. I can make my picture smaller and your picture bigger. All right, let's see. 24 people online now. That's good. Now that people can see I'm actually here. Jessica's on, making it pretty. I wanted to have a 747 or something behind me, but didn't give me any choices. That way you don't have to see the unmade bed and the pile of food wrappers and the 200 cans of Pepsi. No, that's a joke. I don't have any of that. Jeremy, what's up? Adam, nice. Christian, what's up? Tim, brother. So I saw a question. Somebody asked any updates on the FLC. Nope. That truck is currently sitting in third place. Betty has moved out of first place. Betty has moved into cold storage. We got to get it back in the shop. Well, let's start at the beginning. So Betty can't be trusted to be left alone outside because she just fills up with water. That ill-built truck with blind rivets instead of huck bolts leaks in every rivet hole. And when it rains outside, it rains inside. So we're gutting the truck on the inside. We're cleaning the shop. We're moving Betty inside. What's up, Kevin? And we're going to take out Scooter Gang. We're going to take out all the rivets and seal all the holes and re-rivet the whole truck. It's going to take a couple hours to get that done probably, and it needs to be inside when it happens. Then we're going to start doing the bodywork and paint, I think. Let's see. In the interim, so the first day I get home from work, I'm at work, obviously. That's why I'm doing it live. First day I get home, that's what we're going to do is get the shop clean and get the truck back, get Betty back inside. And we've been behind the scenes working on Truck X. The new owner of Truck X is in here, actually. You can say hi if you want to in the chat so people know who it is. But we put the transmission in, we put the clutch in. First of all, we took the flywheel off, put a new rear main seal on, put a fresh turned flywheel on, new clutch, and new transmission supplied by the owner of the truck. And the next thing we're going to do is get the drive shaft measured up. We're going to do, there's about 6 feet under the truck that needs to be pressure washed. We're going to get that done. Take off the, there's one air tank that's been bypassed with a piece of gas pipe, which is kind of cool. Can't wait to make that little video. And then the other two tanks are kind of beat up, and I have those 3 new tanks that I bought for Betty that I didn't end up using. So we'll put the 3 new air tanks in and get those secured like they're supposed to be, and check all the air lines, get everything hooked up so that we can get that truck building air. Then we're going to get sandblast guys over, sandblast and prime paint the frame, and then do brakes and bags and bushings, and then get exhaust done and get some electrical done and make a delivery on that thing, put some wheels and tires on it and deliver it. So that's next on the agenda. Yep, see right there. He just messaged in there. I don't like to disclose other people's personal data, so I didn't want to volunteer his name. But anyhow, we're full time on his truck, so we can get that to him so he can put it to work. Super excited to get that truck finished so I can finally drive it. And me and Jessica will make the maiden voyage to his place and drop that thing off. So we'll have a series of videos on X coming up pretty soon. And then we're going to spend 2 or 3 days of my trip home this time putting the, maybe I shouldn't say that. Let me think about that for a minute. You guys are so many videos behind. It's tough for me to tell you some of the stuff I want to do. Let me answer that question. The Dodge Charger is gone. It got wrecked 3 times in 6 weeks, and so we got rid of it. It was a Scat Pack, yep, and it was a 21. And we bought a brand new, but a 2023 Durango black all-wheel drive with the 392. So you guys will probably see some content on that. That's Jessica's car. I didn't need another car. We bought the Charger, kind of a knee-jerk reaction to needing something dependable while we figured out what was going on with the TRX. Susan, get caught up. There's so many videos that I think there's 3 or 4. The biggest problem with the latest videos is they're just kind of like hodgepodge kind of show prep for mats that we've already attended. So you guys already have seen the truck kind of in action through Facebook and Jessica's page, Jessica's YouTube channel and stuff. But we got, I think the first drive video is coming up. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. Yeah, don't park it at the airport. That's no lie right there. Damn. So Trisha, let's see. I probably shouldn't show you Trisha. Man, maybe I will. Maybe I'm just going to show it to you because I don't know. I'm just going to show you Trisha. You guys want to see Trisha? Let's see. We got 39 people in and only 16 thumbs up. I say if we get 39 thumbs up here in the next 2 minutes, then I'll show you a picture of Trisha. Let's see. Yeah, it's my fault. I get it. So you know the process. The process of man, 24 already, cool. The process of doing a YouTube video sucks, right? Because you get up, you get your, you unplug all your stuff and you get on your clothes and you go out to the shop and you film a little opener and then you open the shop and you're like, oh my God, overwhelmed by the mess. So then you go in there and you start cleaning up and you see a squirrel and you start doing something else. And pretty soon you're an hour or 2 into the day and you haven't turned the camera on. Yes, Trisha is a 1983 Kenworth K100, the red one. We'll call it the red one for right now. Yes, those count. Anyways, you get sidetracked and then pretty soon you're like, oh, I need to start filming. So you have a plan what you're going to do that day, and you got some parts in from, either Fleet Pride or Amazon or, MHC Kenworth or whatever you're working on. And so you get your stuff all set up and you start opening your box and it's totally the wrong part. And so then you're like, okay, I can't do that this week because now I have to send this back and deal with all that. So then you look around and you say, oh, I have these parts that I haven't put on. So you gather them up and you go out to the wrecker and you set up your camera and yep, Trisha is out to paint. You set up your camera and you jump up in the thing and you start filming and you realize you don't have half the things you need to do that job. So then you got a start of a video for the first job, start of the video for the second job, start of the video for the third job. And now you don't have anything that you can do. So you go in the shop and you start cleaning. So now you got memory cards all split up and it just sucks. And so then you have a good day and the parts are there and you start working and you get a lot done, but it's out of sequence, because now you're not even on that job, you're on something else. So it takes a long time. Yeah, where you realize that you turn the camera on and it's filming the rear facing camera instead of the front facing camera. So you're sitting there talking to it and it can hear you, but it's looking at the wall behind the camera. It's cool. Super cool. So, it ends up being one of those frustrating moments and you just work through it. So you put a bunch of footage together, you create a video and you post it. And then you pull out another video card. Now let me tell you about video cards or SD cards. So we get the 256 gig ultra fast cards because these cameras need the card to be the high quality card, and they're not super expensive. I think they're $40-$50 or something, not crazy. But one day's footage, which ends up being about 4 hours of actual record time, takes a whole 256 gig card. So then you got a whole bunch of those cards, and they all look the same. And you try and put them in order inside the case, so you're going to start with the top left and left to right, top to bottom, just like you're reading a book. And so you start editing, and then you can reuse them forever, but you have to keep, storing. And I'm one of those guys where I store all the data. So I have like a stack of 1, 2, and 4 terabyte. What do you call those things? Serial drives, whatever. And that gets all confusing as well. So it ends up being a big logistical nightmare trying to make videos that are in chronological order. And you probably noticed that some of Betty's videos are out of order, but that was just because I'm editing right now video I did 3 weeks ago. And so it's hard for me to remember. Did I already show the video of me putting the air dryer on, or did I already do the wiring video, or was the truck running last time I had a video out? So I have to go back and rewatch some of the video and then go, oh yeah, okay, this one goes here. And I screwed that up sometimes. So I'm a little bit behind. I'm not real bright anyways. Well, we only really need one more thumbs up. So I'll show you a picture. I've got, let's see, I think one. Man, should I show you guys? You really want to see it? No, this isn't a great picture. It's shot on a camera phone that's not super great and it's dirty. I just got the windshields put in. But you guys want to see it? Here we go. Where's the camera at? Oh, right there. Whoa. We got a little glare. Oh, man. Hold on. Oh, boy. Look at that. See? YouTube doesn't even want to show it. There's Trisha. Hope you guys enjoy that. That little tidbit there. Let's see. All right. Perfect. So that's what Trisha looks like currently. Let's see what I miss. Yeah, the editing time is hard because I do it when I'm flying. I do it while I'm at home so I can keep a video going out. And then when I come out to work, sometimes I just sit in the dark flight deck and stare out at the stars or no stars, depending on where I'm flying, in the middle of the night for hours on end. So I edit a lot while I'm at cruise. Nope, it's like a dark metallic burgundy maroon kind of thing. Yeah, no stripes going on it. Excuse me. We went back and forth on the stripes. The paint job was rather expensive. I think that's why we're gonna do Betty ourselves. We'll have to see. There is. I got a good glass guy. We use Glass Doctor, and that guy could make a glass. He's really good at making a glass, but actually, weirdly enough, because the glass for Marla, which is a newer truck, was not available, so it had to be cut, and the glass for Trisha and Crystal is still available, and he actually had it in stock, which is unbelievable. But for, I think it was about $860, I already had bought all of the windshield rubbers for the C model that were left in America, and so I had that in stock. And then when I called him and told him I wanted to cut glass, he's like, well, give me the VIN. I'll see if they have those. I'm like, they didn't have them. They didn't even have the rubbers. And he's like, oh, I have a pair of those in stock. And there's no way you have those in stock, but he had them in stock. It was amazing. So it costs like $800 or $850 for him to come out, put the rubber in, put my little tiny side glass in, and then put the new windshields in. And it costs about that. It's roughly, for 2 windshields in a real rubber that works well with my lock strip, because I always order my own, costs between $700 and $1,200 for a pair. When we did Betty's, we did sleeper glass and windshields, and he had to cut. Yeah, he cut the sleeper glass, and did he cut the windshields too? Yeah, he cut them both. I think it was $1,400 for all 4. Yeah, me and Chad are actually really good friends in real life, outside of the internet. What's up, Bill? Thanks, Adam. What's up, Morrow? Jeffrey, I'm not sure. I know it wouldn't hurt my feelings if I ended up with Trisha, Crystal, Marla, Betty, and Franny. That would be fine to have those 5 trucks. That'd be cool. But Trisha is going to be for sale as soon as it's done. But it'll be the typical James Pretty price, and nobody want to pay that. Somebody asked earlier if I sold the truck I wanted to sell. So, I tried to sell, he was talking about 11, the L9000 Aeromax, and I've been trying to sell that truck for over a year. And after that last video of me asking on the video, please, somebody buy that truck, I've had a ton of interest. I actually have a guy coming to the house on Tuesday. And so I'm hoping he brings his cash and drives her out of there. All right, Jester, we'll see you in a bit. I don't really want to sell Franny. I would sell Franny because Franny is a lot of work. And Franny has been my most successful truck, weirdly enough. I made more money on Franny than all the other trucks combined, which is just blows my mind. And I'm a Freightliner guy. I love Freightliners. I love that FLC. But I mean, how is it that Marla isn't the showstopper? Like Marla, and I should have made $100,000 on Marla for all the videos I've done on that truck. I mean, just that 7 days that we were all out there freezing our butt off rescuing that truck. That truck should have been the one, but it's just weird. The internet doesn't like Kenworths, I guess. It's strange. Best truck ever made. Yeah, it's weird. Franny is going to get cut off. The frame is in really bad shape on that truck, and if I sandblast it and repair it, it's not going to look good. Betty's frame looks amazing. I did an amazing job on that. Me and Jessica did an amazing job painting it. For a couple people who have never really painted anything, we did a super job in the dark. If you guys remember, the sun was going down when we first started priming, and the dew was settling, and for all of those things, it looks amazing. I think we're gonna 600 grit sand it and then reshoot that frame, but other than a little bit of dirt in it, it looks really good. So I think what we'll do is we'll get a modern cutoff, maybe even disc brakes, and we'll stab that thing out to about 280. It's pretty long right now. I think it's 265, if I remember right. So we'll probably make it 280, and we'll do tall rubber on it. And I think that truck's going to be badass. We'll do that little body work on the sleeper and shoot it with the same color paint that Trisha is, because Trisha is kind of train wreck. Trisha is kind of the color that Rhonda and Franny would be if that was still good paint. Yeah, check Marlo out, Adam. Marlo's an amazing truck. We'll give you an update on Marlo here in a second as well. Let's see who's yelling at me. Darius, that frame is in dire straits. And the reason I say that is because every piece of the suspension is wore out, and I just don't want to buy all new suspension. I can buy like a 2020 or 2022 whole frame with all the suspension, like on a truck that was on the road for a year and then got wrecked, right? For 10 grand. Or I can spend 10 grand and a whole bunch of hours, unhooking and bolting on suspension. I don't want to bolt on suspension. Hooks are so much stronger than bolts. So I just don't want to do that. Too much work. You guys will be bored by the time you even get the thing stripped down. So I can do a cutoff in 2 weeks. So in a 4, if I like focus on it and get prepared before I do it, I can do 4 or 5 videos and have a full cutoff done and have the truck moving again. Yeah, Darren, we're definitely gonna spend some time. So let's see. Let me answer Bill's question. I will keep Trisha, but it's going to be for sale. I'm going to put 45,000 on it, and if somebody gives me 45,000 for it, they can have it. And if they don't, I'll die with it, and I don't care. We got to prioritize, because I'm gonna see too many squirrels, and you guys aren't going to get all the information. So let's talk about. We just talked about Franny. We're going to stretch it, put maybe even disc brakes on it, make it about 280, 285 wheelbase, tall rubber. Then I'm on the fence whether I'm going to put an engine and trans in it or not. The B model in it runs really good, but it'd be nice with a C15. So maybe get a C15 and 18 speed, and it needs a cooling pack anyways, so it would just be good to get that all out, pressure wash it all, pressure wash the whole chassis, and then sandblast, throw a cutoff on it, then sandblast, prime, and paint it, and start throwing it together. Because Franny really deserves to be as nice as Betty, I think. So that's Franny. Let me catch up. Old style aluminum. I also have one, but I just don't like the way it looks. I don't know why. I'm going out to the woods when I get home. I need to show you guys the fire video too. Man, I'm slacking. It would be cool. See, I'm getting distracted, but it would be cool if I could play a video clip for you during a live without having to like hold my phone up to the thing, because I have like a short 8-minute video on the fire, and the fire is very important as to what's going to be happening over the next few months with the channel, and so it's going to be hard for me to like find a place to introduce it. I may end up shooting the first video in the series of that and attaching the fire video, but I almost think the fire video needs to come out right now. Man, I don't know. So, all right, so we're on Franny. Let's talk about Marla. What's up, James? Nice. Stockton, been there. Okay, John, that's the perfect time to ask, because I was just fixing to get into what we're going to do with Marla. So, I've been trying to do a collab with Tim Gentry for a while. And what's up, Neil? How's it going? And my dream for Marla is to get that junk 15 speed out of that truck and throw it as far as I can, which is not going to be very far, and get that wore out ass 8V92 stinky loud, no power having yard ornament out of there, and then pressure wash that chassis, stick a different motor in it and a better trans, and maybe even make it a little longer. I don't know that I'll cut that frame, because that frame's perfect from the factory. Like, there's literally one rough spot this big, and it's because, they put those stickers on there that said don't weld or cut on the flanges or drill. And it's just a sticker. And I think somebody nicked it with something, and so the sticker held water. So there's one spot this big on that whole frame that has rust that's actually a little pitted. And I left the sticker on there, so the pitting is just in a hole in the center of the sticker. But weirdly enough, the rest of the frame is like absolutely perfect. It's like brand new. So I don't want to cut that, but I'm going to take that engine and trans out. I'm going to get rid of that quiet little tiny exhaust. I'm going to clean that frame up and possibly redo the paint job on the frame. And if I might stretch it. I'm not sure, but it's going to get a different motor. And so I was on the fence. I'm looking for, that's coming too, Jason. I'm looking for one particular engine, 98 to 01, 6067 HK60, which is a pre-EGR 14 liter. It's 575 horse from the factory. I'm looking for one. I had found one in Michigan, but it had a spun bearing. And the guy said he didn't look at it himself, but his guy told him it spun a bearing. And so I'm pretty sure it probably spun a main. Because usually, it's been my experience. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it's been my experience that main bearings get the oil first. And so the main bearing will spin before a rod bearing. But what could happen is, you could have that thing turned up so hard that it beats the top bearing off the rod, and then it can spin. So I'm not saying it's 100% always, but the few hundred times I've seen it, blocks junk. And so The block is important to me because I want the block to be a 6067 HK60. And so anyways, I tire kicked it for a while, and then I lost his information. I've been looking for it. If he watches this video, he should reach out to me because I will pick that motor up and just roll the dice. But I want to put that 14 liter in there. I'm going to do, I'm going to do something everybody hates. I'm going to do 1,000 horsepower because I want Marla to be the truck that I enjoy taking to the show. And I want Marla to be the truck that, I can drive while Jessica drives her truck, and we can convoy to the shows together. And that's what I want to do. And so probably will. All right, Tim, appreciate you, bud. Neil, did you miss the conversation about X? You'll have to rewatch the beginning of the live. We talked about X already. And Keith, it's in Michigan. And I tried to get my brother, what happened with why we didn't get that is I called my brother and said, hey, can you go get this? And his truck was down. And so that took a few weeks. And then in that time, I'd got distracted on going all out on Betty and just lost touch. Anyhow, so that's the plan. I want to put a heavy haul 13 or an 18 speed in it, put that 1,000 horse 14 liter. But then since I've been having trouble finding one, I ran across that. Here's the thing. Hold up. Here's the thing. The thing is, here's the thing. Undeniably, man, you guys hate this, but undeniably the best, absolutely best engine, in my opinion, is the MXS BXS Caterpillar, the Acert dual turbo that everybody makes a single, and it makes me sick to think about. But that to me is the hands down greatest thing ever built. So I was making a comment, I think in Gentry's live, I don't know, last week or something. And he saw me talking about it, and he's like, oh, James is going to put a Detroit in Marla. And I'm like, Cat. He's like, yep, see, he just said it, Detroit. And so we got talking about it. And so he was like, dude, I want to do a collab with you anyways. So if you'll put a Detroit in it, I'll donate the motor and we'll just do it. And so we went from 14 liter I couldn't find. I found an MXS that was is tired, but it was a good price, and the truck had a brand new 18913A Eaton Trans, and it was 10 grand. And I'm like, I'm buying it. And after Tim made that comment, I didn't just lock in on the deal. And then I thought, well, we will put a Detroit in. Maybe we'll put a 12.7 in it. I don't want to put a 12.7 in there because I think the only reason why Tim wants me to put a 12.7 in there because he doesn't want me to drag that rooster backwards, which he knows I would if I built that MXS the way I wanted to, or the 14 liter the way I wanted to. But anyways, that's where we're at right now. I lost that deal. That somebody else bought that engine. I think he lowered the price like 8,500 and somebody snatched it. And that transmission's worth $6,000. So I would have got that complete running MXS, which was singled out, by the way, had a new, whatever that fancy manifold and big turbo are on it. So anyways, I lost out, but that's the way it works. Let me answer some questions. We'll go to the next truck. Yeah, the Acert's badass, Darren. I don't know. Everybody has their own opinions, but in my opinion, that thing is just amazing. Bill. No, I didn't reorder the fifth wheel. I just re-drilled the holes. And I'm going to actually change those rails because I don't like them anyways. But that's later. Right now it looks fine and it's on there. That's right. Free is free. What's up, buddy? What's up, Dan? How's it going? Yeah, Kurt, tell me, brother, how much do you love that thing? It's amazing, right? It kills me because people don't understand. I mean, I'm not putting down single turbos, and you can make a boatload of power, but it's just something about compounding the air pressure, right? So you know how it works. You pressurize, you compress air because you pack in more air molecules in the same amount of volume. And the more air you have in the air pump, which is the engine, the more power it makes. So you squeeze the air down and you compress it and jam all those air oxygen molecules in there in the same amount of space, and then you throw it in the cylinder and it creates more power. The reason why a compound turbo is so nice is because one turbo starts and compresses a mass of air, and then it crams that mass of air into another turbo that recompresses that mass of air into an even more compressed package. And the efficiency of that, because you'll have one turbo that's smaller, we'll just call it a smaller turbo. There's a lot of things about it that make it different, but let's just say you have a smaller turbo and it does the initial packing of the air, and then the bigger turbo takes that already compressed air and recompresses it and puts it into the cylinder. There's a bunch of things about that are just amazing. It's great. I get distracted because I see, you guys know, you see the Marshalls. You know who that is, right? That's the guy who bought Fiona, and he's got, and I'm not going to tell anybody what you got, but he's got plans for that truck. He can share that with you guys on his channel. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate you. What's up, Max? What's up, Dave? Oh, so where were we? We did Betty, we did Franny, we did kind of did Trisha, we did Marla. Let's see. Switchblade turbos. I don't have any problem with those. Oh, Rhonda. You guys want to talk about Rhonda? We'll talk about Rhonda and then remind me we'll talk about Crystal a little bit. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so Rhonda. You guys are pretty far behind. I think I showed a picture of the booms. If everybody hasn't seen a picture of the booms, I can get a picture of the booms out. Oh, Darius, remind me in a little bit, and we'll talk about Dolores. And Dan, you'll have to remind me in a little bit about the Will It Starts, because that kind of coincides with the fire. So where are my boom pictures? Boom, boom, boom. You want to see Jessica's truck? See what we traded the Charger for. Anyways, let's see. You guys, let's see. You guys, I got distracted a little bit. You guys know who Trucker Doll is? You guys follow Trucker Doll? This girl right here. I met her at Matt's. It was pretty cool. We were like, me and Chad and Jessica. What were we doing? Yeah, so it's Chad and Kim and Jessica and I, and we were taking a shortcut. It was after Matt's, and we'd been through the parade, and we were just taking a shortcut back behind the alley. And as we're running down through there, I see this girl shoot out through one of the doors, and I was like, holy crap, can I get a picture with you? And Jessica's like, she didn't know I know this person, right? And so she takes our picture, and the girl's like, how do you, who am I? I'm like, you're Trucker Doll. And she's like, how do you know that? I'm like, shit, I've been following you for years. But anyways, Trucker Doll, follow her on Facebook, Instagram. Anyways, got distracted. So I can't find a picture of the booms, which is super not cool. Oh, you know what's cool? This is cool. So I'm going to show this quick video clip. You guys ready? Somebody took this of Black Betty, and then it got sent to me. That's in the parade. Pretty cool, right? I thought that was super cool. Somebody just sent that to me. I'm going to take one more look to see if I can find the booms. No, I can't. So, yeah, Jester, that's that is pre sandblast and powder coat. So we took man, meeting Derek was such a great thing for the channel. He's a master fabricator. That guy, no kidding, could take a tape measure. He can listen to my voice about what I have in my mind, and he can take a tape measure and scribble something down on a piece of paper, and he'll be like, I'll bring this by Friday, and then he'll bring me what I had in my head made. Excuse me. And it's amazing. So he built these booms, and then he took them to his shop, and he blasted them and powder coated them safety yellow. And then he took all of the fittings, all of the end pieces of the booms, and he reworked the parts that needed to be reworked, and pressed out old bearings or old bushings, and made new bushings, and put in new bushings, and powder coated all of the accessory pieces of the booms. I gotta tell you, it's gonna be pretty cool. And so all of that stuff is done, and we're gonna try and take one day this weekend coming and reassemble the thing so we can get all the cables stretched out, cleaned up, and oiled up. I need $3,000 to buy the tow bar. So that's like my next expenditure. It's actually $2,500 for the part, and then about $350 to ship it, and whatever insurance or whatever I have to get for the shipping. So it's gonna be about $3,000, and then I'll have the actual tow bar attachment for the back of the wrecker. Let's see. Calling around to try and find a power steering solution for that. It's going to be a few grand. Let's see what else. I think that's all. The update on that is that we have all the pieces done. We're going to actually, Jester, everything works on the booms. We got that all working kind of off camera. We do need to, there's about a 9-tooth rollover on one of the drum ring gears. I got in an argument with the guy on the comments about, listen, my fabricator is going to remake the gear teeth that are rolled over, and it's going to be fine. And if you don't believe me, just watch the next couple of videos, because we're going to remake the gear teeth on the drum gear, and it's going to work perfectly. And so we plan on getting that done and getting the truck ready by, I have training in May, so May is going to be bad for the channel. By June 1, either last week in May or June 1, Rhonda is going to be making her first trip to the spot for Will It Start and possible purchase rescue mission. So we'll have to stay super tuned to that. We need that video to make like 1 million views. That would be pretty cool. Rhonda is thirsty for cash. Rhonda needs an engine. Rhonda needs sandblast prime and paint. Rhonda needs full interior. Rhonda needs power steering. Rhonda needs cool exhaust. Rhonda needs a KTA 19. I'm just saying. So we need to make like $55,000 this year on Rhonda videos. That'd be nice. Yeah, I know Strickland. I've heard of that. Let's see. Let me see what I'm going to look here. Guess you're going to keep the tow truck. Yes, Bill, absolutely. Let's see. Cutting brackets. What's up, Mad Cow Mark? Good to see you, brother. So, Dan, as far as the Willet starts go, in my spot in the woods, there were 7 or 8 cab overs and 4 or 5 hood trucks that I wanted. And there were some people out stealing parts, and they were trying to get some fasteners off some fuel tanks and got a fire started, and they just took off. And it burned up a bunch of the trucks, and it hurt my heart because I had a 60 series Detroit out there that I was eyeballing. There was a C model cat, a B model cat, and a 362 Peterbilt cab over. Then all of them in a row burnt right to the ground. So pretty sad. Hopefully the guy that owns the property, I told him he should get the Jake brakes off those motors before rust sets in. I don't know if you ever seen a truck burn, but it's the craziest thing. The fuel tanks will burn off to the level of the fuel and then stop burning. It's the craziest thing ever. So you walk up to these trucks and the fuel tanks are half gone. The top half is burnt off, and then it's just level with the water diesel fuel mix that's in there from putting out the fire. And then, a lot of parts on a 60 series Detroit are plastic. And I'm not necessarily plastic, but composite, oil pan, valve cover, and then anything aluminum. The fire gets hot enough that anything plastic, rubber, or aluminum just disappears. And so you would think that a fire would get under there and it would burn through a radiator hose, and then the coolant would run out and put the fire out. But what it does is it burns through everything like simultaneously, right? And then the oil that comes out of the oil pan is flammable, and the water that comes out of the radiator just carries the flaming oil downhill and just burns everything in its path. And yeah, everything melts on those cat motors. It's so sad, man. These 2 cat motors just had James Pretty's name all over, and I was gonna get to it. Look, I offered on that if you guys remember me doing the FLD Will It Start, it was a white with a black kind of tribal design on the side, and had a short bunk. FLD, never seen one in my life, like a short bunk, like 24-inch bunk. FLD, such a cool little truck with I think the engine is at 430, 470, or this was a 500, straight 500. I don't remember, but we did a Will It Start, and we couldn't get the ECM to cooperate, and so we only ever ran it on ether. And the transmission, while the engine was running, the transmission would go into gear. It was the weirdest thing ever. But I had made an offer on it. We were about $1,000 apart, and I was just letting it cook. You know what I mean? Like, you go and you work a deal, and then you just kind of let the deal simmer, and then pretty soon somebody moves, and you get either he gets what he wants or I get what I want. So we had been in that letting the deal cook stage, and then somebody melted it down, but I would have ended up with all 4 of those trucks in that row that are now gone. So good news, maybe I'll have some 3406 cat Jake brakes and some Detroit Jake brakes for sale shortly. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see. The Marshalls, how heavy are the booms? So me and Derek could carry one together, but it was uncomfortable. So we used a forklift to move them. The tubing is a 4.5-inch OD or ID, 4.5-inch ID by 525 wall. Does that make sense? 1/2-inch wall. 500A rated. So it's heavy, super heavy. Nice, Matthew. Good to hear that. Yeah, Bill, they were stealing too. They stole. This is the weirdest thing. You know how crackheads are. And they actually caught them. So it's pretty cool because they came back 2 days after the fire. Like somebody who saw the fire, like saw the U-Haul truck hauling ass out of there. And then 2 days later, somebody called and said, "Hey, there's a U-Haul truck stuck out here in the woods." And so these crackheads were out there in the mud, and they had pulled the cable over to a tree, and they were all hand pulling the cable to try and pull the truck out of the mud. It's hilarious. And so the owner of the property, I'm surprised he didn't do bad things. I probably would have been, in his case, in his shoes, I might be in jail right now because I probably would have done bad things. But he just called the police and just waited where he could see him until the cops came. And of course, they denied it, said they'd never been there before. They were just turning around because they were lost. And then, the cop was like, "What are those receipts from the scrap yard right there on your seat?" And so they were in there. It was like transmission, alternators and starters and fuel tanks, all the things that were stolen. And so, yeah, must have been, there's two scenarios I can see in my mind because of the peak cab over where the fire started. They had one nut off of the fuel tank strap, and the other one was like rusted solid from like heating it and then getting sprayed with the water. So what I think happened is they were heating up the nuts to get them loose, right? Probably a little propane torch, and maybe the crackhead set it down so we could. And this woods is covered in like a 1.5 foot thick layer of pine needles. I mean, definitely not rocket scientists, but yep, burnt that shit to the ground. So they called me and said, "Listen, come out. There was a fire." I went out there. I actually drove Betty out there and filmed. At first, me and Jessica went out there in the Charger because it was a crime scene, so we couldn't go on the property. So we just went out there and tried to film from the road. You couldn't see anything. You could see where trucks used to be, but they were no longer there. And then once I got back from work the next month, and I got Betty out to go get fuel and take some pictures, I ran over there with Betty and shot that scene that you guys will see pretty soon. And man, so sad, dude. I get a little choked up thinking about losing stuff like that you're talking about. And he lost a bunch of cars too, and he had some cool cars. The thing about Southern vehicles and Southern people is they don't get rid of cars. When the car is ready to be replaced, they pull it up into the woods and they get another car. And they just do this for a whole couple of generations, right? So there's cars from way back, 50 cars. Let's say there's 50 cars, right? Well, you saw there's all those semi trucks, and that's how they did those too. When it was time to put a transmission in a truck, they just park it and go get another truck. And so I think they lost 7 cars, and 4 or 5 trucks. Plus they had a couple cutoffs there that burned that were pretty badass. Sad. It's sad that the guy loses $50,000-$60,000 and then has to clean up the mess, right? Because now he's got to junk that stuff. So whatever. It's just sad. It makes me upset. I hate people. But yeah, that's the way it is. So that's he called me and said, "Come out. You need to get what you're going to get out of here because I don't want to lose any more money." So it's either you get out here and get it, or I'm just going to start selling it. And I don't want him to sell that stuff to anybody but me. So what I want to do, and I talked about a little bit before, is nope, there's still 7 cab overs over there that I want, and a couple of hood trucks. I think it's 6 cab overs now, but so this is what we need to do. So here's the deal. We're going to take Rhonda as soon as I can make it a thing. We're going to take Rhonda and we're going to go out to the woods. And I'm going to take one truck. It is a 81, I think, Marmon cab over with a Cummins spring ride, big bunk, rough. It's in rough shape. We're going to go out there and we're going to pull up. I'm going to have Rhonda fully loaded with every rescue tool that I need. We're going to, no, listen, Jester, it's not for me. I'm not buying the truck for me. You got to hear this whole story out. We're going to roll out there with the rescue truck, Rhonda, the rescue wrecker. We're going to roll out there. We're going to air up some tires. What's up, Jason? We're going to stick on some batteries. We're going to run out my 100-foot long jump start cord. We're going to run out some air lines. We're going to run out some stuff. We're going to do a willet start on this Marmon cab over. Then, whether it starts or not, we're going to buy it. Then we're going to get this chainsaw out. We're going to cut down some trees. And we're going to make us a path. And we're going to hook onto that truck. And we're going to drag it out of there. This is not a squirrel moment. This is fully planned rest of the year. Where we're going with the channel. We're going to bring that truck home. So the first video is going to be going out there and doing a willet start. Then we're going to do the video where we rescue it out of the woods and bring it back home. Then we're going to do the first wash. And then we're either going to do one of two things. Somebody on this channel is going to tell their brother or their uncle or their granddad, and they're going to buy that truck. And I'm going to sell the truck for what I paid for it. I'm not going to put windshields in it. I'm not going to put tires on it. I'm not even going to put gas in it. I'm going to find it, will it start, rescue it, wash it, and ship it. And I'm going to get every one of those trucks that's left in his woods, and I'm going to get it out there. So we're going to do one of two things. Yeah, I know, Wiley. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that truck. I hate watching people who don't care about equipment work on equipment. I love Wiley. He's a good dude, but he's not a truck guy. And he's so hard on stuff. You can't just keep ripping that cab up and down like that. Anyways, I digress. Listen, I'm going to buy, there's 7 cab overs. This many, not this. There's 7 cab overs. And I want to get them out of there. What's up, Cliff? And I want to get them out to people who want to love that truck like I would if I bought it. I'm not buying any more trucks for myself. Right now, I have no plans to increase my trucks. I want to end up with less than 5, but I'll settle for 5. But we need to get those trucks out of that woods before there's nothing left of them. And so there's 2 Marmon cab overs, a big bunk and a small bunk. There is a single headlight, aluminum frame, Freightliner like Johnny Cash out there. There's 3 of that transition. I call it the transition period, where I can't just look at the truck and go, oh, that's a 78, that's an 80 Freightliners. The one that's got the flappy door on it on the driver's side, I think it's 78. There's 3 in that genre. Then there's another, there's like a 81, 82, 83 model year that's got some bullet holes in it, but it's still a badass truck. What'd you say? Oh, no, you're fine. It's just Wiley. I was watching that video. I don't generally watch him because it does bother me that he's mean to vehicles. But I was watching it because so many people were like, oh man, you got to watch this video. It's Marmon, and it was a cool truck. But man, who puts an automatic in a 1979? Anyways, it made me sick. Like, cause I was super careful with Fiona when I was trying to get the cab up, and I still heard it. You can't just rip the things up and down like that. You just don't do that. Unless you just don't love trucks. But I love trucks, so it hurts my feelings. So anyways, so what do you think? You think we can sell these trucks? And I'm not even trying to look at a profit. I'll make a little bit of money for the videos, and I'll just put the money out there to buy the trucks. But let's see if we can sell them, right? If I can't sell them, I'm gonna give them away, and I don't want to give them away because I just don't want to lose the money from the purchase. Now, if you wanted to, you guys don't really buy merch, which we don't really spend a whole lot of time creating cool merch and pushing merch anyways, but we are going to do one at a time, Vance, but we're going to try and do one every month. So bring it home, try and sell it. If we don't sell it, I want to give it away. And so we'll do some sort of merch drive, because I'm going to spend between $3,000 and $6,000 per truck to get them. So I need to make back the money it cost me to buy them. I don't care about the money I spend, getting them out of the woods, throwing a air holder tire on to get it home or whatever. But yes, I need to get these trucks rescued because the world lost 2 Caterpillars and a Detroit. They lost a small bunk FLD, which is super cool. That other truck, and I forget, somebody told me what it is, like a FL. It was the one where the bumper comes like this, the axle set back and the bumper comes like this, and it's a Freightliner. FL 125 or something. Anyways, the world lost one of those, and that beautiful 100% complete 362 cab over that's gone. So well, Bill, I tried to get Gentry. I tried to get Tim to come and buy them all, but yes, FLC 120. Thanks, Darren. I tried to get Tim to come buy them all, but Tim doesn't have time to come down and he's almost 4 hours from this place, right? So to come down and put one truck, maybe 2 on the lowboy and make 8-hour round trips, it's just not feasible. I think the channel needs to do the will it starts, and I think the channel needs the rescue video, and I think the channel needs the first wash video because that's the ones that are important and are the most like dramatic. So I do want to do each one as a rescue, but I think we need to sell them quickly. I can't spend another $500,000 on trucks. I don't have it. And I say that number, and it's an embellishment of a little bit, but I do have more than a couple $100,000 spent on trucks that I'll never get the money out of. I only do it because I love it. But I can't continue to do it because I don't have endless time left at my job. So yeah. Alta Fisher, what's happening? So we talked about Rhonda, we talked about the woods, we talked about Mar. Let's talk about Crystal. I mean, you were like, all of us gotta watch the checkbook. I didn't think I had to until there wasn't a checkbook to watch anymore. Oh yeah, let's talk about Dolores real quick. Crystal, we can talk about after Dolores. Oh, what's up, Shane? It wouldn't be bad, Cliff. It'd be pretty easy, actually. A guy could do it. Candy, if you guys remember Candy, I traded that for that Nova. That's a single axle truck now, an RV hauler. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Mauro, I agree. So I did get the flow control valves, but I have not reattempted the cab jack issue yet. I have to absolutely positively have to focus on X. I made a commitment to get that truck done, and so X is a prime focus right now. Um, oh yeah, for sure, Marl. My will it start videos are what made the channel what it is. Franny made the channel what it is. Franny was amazing. Franny made me think that I was going to go to like 500,000 subscribers in 1 year. I think I made 15,000 subscribers in 1 month, and then like 30,000 subscribers overall just from the Franny Will It Start. What's up, Leon? Keith, I got to sell Whitney. Whitney needs a full meal deal. Whitney needs a frame off restoration, and I'm not that guy. I can't do it. Doing Betty was outside of the box for me, and without having a team, I can't do it. I can't do it. And Whitney deserves somebody that's gonna like make that their one truck that they spend their life making new again. And I don't have enough time left. I can, you guys know what I do for a living. I'm an airline pilot. I'm 55. I can only fly for till I'm 65. And since I spent all of my retirement on cool trucks, I need to reacquire a retirement in 10 years. So I don't have enough time left to, if I had 20 years left at my job, a guy could have 10 restored trucks, but I don't have that much time left. Leon, you missed it. It's solid color. We showed a video or a picture. So just when we're done, or even now, you can scroll back on the live and find it. There's a picture of it. Oh, nice. Did you send me a picture of that 86? I don't remember. Okay, Dolores. So I don't know if you guys remember. I sent Johnny. Johnny came and worked for me for a weekend, a month or 2 months ago or so, and I sent him out there to get the oil pan off of Dolores because it was cracked, and I just run a screw in there with a big rubber chunk and stop the oil from leaking. But I ordered the oil pans for those are not readily available, so I ordered a new gasket, and I was going to take the oil pan off and just braze it shut. Beat the crack back flat and braze it up nice. If you look at any good Detroit 2-stroke oil pan, they're all brazed up because that shit cracks because it's the cheapest stamped steel stuff General Motors could make. And well, they crack. And so Johnny went out there and he started, I said, get that oil out, get that oil pan off. And he comes back in, he's like, check it out. He had coolant all over his hand. He's like, man, I opened that drain plug and this orange coolant came out. And so one of 3 possibilities. I don't know if you guys remember, but I ran that engine a lot with no radiator. Like I ran that engine for at least an hour when it was in the original truck before I decided to pull it out. I ran it a couple of more hours, not, a couple of hours long, but over its time of starting and stopping and moving and whatever. I ran it for a couple more hours before it had a radiator. And then when I finally sourced a radiator and put it in there, I cooled it up, started it up, I let it get hot. No leaks, no increase in the oil, no milking in the oil. Probably ran it another 2 hours. And then we let it sit for, 6 months probably. And then I sent Johnny out to do that. And there was water or coolant in the oil. The oil is still clean. It's not milky. So it's a leak. three things could be wrong. I ran it so much without coolant that hurt the liner seals, liner O-rings. Worst case scenario, probably. Or the water pump is bad. So, a water pump needs to have water in it as well, right? To lubricate. So when you're running the engine with the water in there, you're just running those seals dry, and shit happens. And Wayno said, I actually gave that truck to Wayno. I called him and said, dude, you want this Freightliner? I said, I'll give it to you. I'll make you a deal. I'll give it to you if you promise me you'll do something with it. And he's like, oh, hell yeah. Well, then like 3 or 4 months later, he's like, dude, I'm never going to come down and get that truck. So he's like, just diag it. I'm like, come on, man, just come get the truck. I don't want the truck. Just come get the truck. Yada, yada, yada. And he's like, dude, just spend an hour and diagnose it. And so he thinks it's the water pump, and it could be. And so when I have time, 6 months from now, I'm going to take the oil pan off, and I'm going to pressurize the coolant system and see if it's coming from the water pump area or if it's coming down around a liner. And then that'll be the answer, whether or not that engine's good. That engine, listen, that engine doesn't have one leak except for the crack in the oil pan. If you walk up to this engine, raise the cab up, you can touch it anywhere, and you won't have any oil on your hands. It's the driest 8V92 on the planet. Even a brand new one is leaking oil. But this engine does not have one oil leak, not one dribble. It doesn't leak one dribble out of the airbox drains. I'm almost thinking that the airbox drains are mud daubered shut because the thing does not drink one little drip. If you start Marla, in 5 minutes, there's an oil puddle under it this big out of the airbox drains, because that's what Detroit's do in the idle, but not this one. So I hope it's a great engine. I hope that it doesn't need rebuilt, because it would be sad, because it means I did it. And so that would make me a little disappointed in myself. But anyways, that's the gist of what's going on with Dolores. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but the reason I have Dolores is because it's the year, make, model of the Terminator 2 tow truck. And so I was going to make Dolores into my tow rig. That was like the original plan. I never really shared oh, look at that thing. You see that squirrel? I never really shared the plan, but that was a plan. I was going to build the movie themed wrecker. But now that I have Rhonda, I don't really need 2 wreckers. But if in the world I live long enough to get to it, Dolores will be that wrecker from the movie. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a great color too, Leon. We'll see how it looks. Let's see, what did I miss? Yep, Vance's car's gone. Got a new car for Jessica. Brand new, 0 miles, but 2023 year model Durango. All-wheel drive black edition with the 392. So it's a lot like having sorry. I'm right by the airport, by the way, and I'm on the departure end of the runway. And so like 4 of my company's airplanes have already gone by in the last few minutes, but 777s and 787s and 747s and a bunch of smaller planes go by constantly. So it kind of steals my attention. Yeah, we're going to paint Betty. Oh, I wanted to tell you about that. Great to see you. Westmoreland, how's it going? Right on. So about Matt's. So we were at Matt's, and I'm not going to say any names of any companies or any people, but a longtime viewer, subscriber of the channel, follower of the trucks and the missions, came up to me, and he, the company he works for, man, I can't say any names, but anyways, he made me an interesting proposition, and it looks like they're going to be covering some materials for me in the paint and body end of Black Betty. So I think we're going to do like a collaboration between some of the people from the companies and myself in doing the stripping and preparation and body work and then the processes of the paint job. And so that'll be a whole series of things. So we'll have to see how that goes. But it was super cool, and I really do appreciate him and the offer that they made to me. And I think it's going to be amazing what we end up doing with that truck. I have a couple of decisions I have to make, though. Rob from SH Tube came to the truck while we were at Matt's, and we talked for a while about different ideas I had, and he was simpatico in his thought of what I thought was going to be cool. And so we may be going up to Rob's to do a sleeper modification and a whole bunch of stainless, and then bring the truck back to my place and take the truck all back apart and do the body work and stuff. And I think we'll take the sleeper off and the cab off, and probably the engine and trans out, and then we'll do a full-on redo of the paint and recreate the wiring and all of that, and then show paint, engine, transmission, body. But again, that's not who I am, so I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea how that's all going to work out, because I'm not that guy. All right, Neil, we'll talk to you later, brother. So yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff. On Betty, we've been talking about different colors. Obviously, her name is Black Betty, so this is going to be black. But Jessica and I both really like that kind of root beer metal flake that's on the original paint. And so we may do something with that, maybe even on the chassis. I'm not really 100% sure. But a lot of cool things are going to happen with Betty. It was cool to pick up some financial help on that. That was really cool. All right, Susan, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And then Rob, I'm not asking Rob for anything free. Rob has done his fair share of free stuff, and I don't expect him to give me anything free. If he gives me his craftsmanship and helping me do that sleeper mod that I want to do, dude, I'll be in emotional debt with that guy for a long time. He's a great guy. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but he's just a remarkable human being, and super good dude, and he's hella creative, and that's super cool. So I'm kind of excited. Yeah, thanks, Darren. I appreciate that. Dude, for sure that back wall of the sleeper is going to be stainless. For sure it is. I used to hate that. I don't know if they just got more creative in the designs they put in there, but there was a, I don't even remember. I think it was a Kenworth. Well, every truck had that stainless on the back, but I think there was a Kenworth that really got my attention, and it the creases in the stainless was like a starburst. And I stood behind that thing, and the sun was like directly over my shoulders, and it wasn't like the old, how the old stainless doors on the back of the reefer trailers were just smooth and like couldn't be behind it because it blind the shit out of you. It had 1,000 times more glare on it, but it wasn't back at you. It was just in different places, and I was like, man, babe, we got to do that to the back of Betty. And she was like, oh yeah. And so, yeah, we're going to do it. We're definitely going to do it. Yeah, Keith, Rob's good at everything. Rob's a truck dude from, I think, third generation or something. That guy's, and he's an artist. I don't know how these guys do it, how they can be a heavy mechanic and an artist at the same time. Shit, I can't barely tie my shoes the right way. What's happening, Steve? Mercury sleepers. I think I heard that before, Gary. What else? What else? Anything I missed? Crystal. Okay. So the idea was that I have Trisha painted, and then as soon as Trisha was done, Crystal went in the shop. But I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in Trisha. I'm going to say that it's not 100% what my mind's eye saw. And so until I'm convinced that I can say I can get what's in here out of my mouth to tell somebody that's going to, spend a couple months doing body work and stuff and paint, until I can know that that's going to happen, I don't want to do it. So I think Crystal is going to, I think I'm going to fix the fiberglass around the windshield and put new glass in it, and then finish the HVAC and do interior on Crystal. And I think Crystal's just going to stay looking like Crystal. I may try to paint that headlight panel white-ish, and then, hand stripe it so that it doesn't look so horrible, and then put new headlights in it and just leave the body work and paint on that truck until I can make up my mind. I like that truck. I don't know how to say your name, Yiba. I like that truck. It's always a showstopper. People are really attracted to it. And, man, good for him. It's super cool. Yeah, I know. Did we talk about that property on this or just on my complaint video, my last video? So this property is so cool. Man. So use your mind here when I tell you about it. So imagine pulling into your driveway, and it's a semi driveway, so it's big, and have a power gate. Boop, gate slides open. You pull in. As you pull in, there's a 4,000 or I think 4,500 square foot cement block building there with a truck scale and a scale house attached to it. Super cool. And about 500 feet from you, as you're pulling through the gate, is a steel building. And I'm going to say, and it's two buildings because they added on to it, right? So the initial steel building, let's talk about this first. On the left of the building is a 5,000 gallon fuel station, diesel fuel station with pump, badass. And then there's the original building, which is, I think it's going to be 60. It's got to be 60 feet wide by 100. Let's say 60 by 100, because I didn't put a tape measure on it. So like 60 by 100. But then next to it, attached to it, is another 30 or 40 foot by 100. Right. So the thing is either 80 by 120 or 100 by 100 or 70 by 90 or some sort of math like that, right? So if you're looking at the face of the building, there's a big door, like when I say big door, like 14 by 14 door. And when you pull in there, there's a pit, truck pit. And then in the middle, between the two doors, where you could put another door, and you could put a 20-foot door in there easy because it's in the peak, right? So you can put a 20 by 20 door. There's just an entrance door. So there's a little useless space right there. But when you walk into the building, you go into the other door, and it's just straight back to the wall. Like you can a guy could pull in there, truck and trailer, no problem. The middle bay is the same, clear to the back. The bay where the pit is, there's a little jaunt out building where there's like 3 250-gallon oil tanks, like 2 supply and a used oil tank in its own little separate little building right there. If you kept going when you drove in over the pit, now there's a, like a commercial or like a business has a tool crib, and it's that chain fence. So you imagine a chain fenced in parts room and tire room that are about 20 by 50. Plenty of space for inventory. A tire room where a guy can, blow up tires inside the shop instead of blowing them up out in the yard, right? And so the other building that's attached to it is a full-on wash bay. Back a semi, truck, and trailer all the way in the building, close the door, and pressure wash that whole truck in a full-on pressure wash bay with the sloped floor and a drain system in the center. And then at the back wall is a break room, bathroom, office with a stairway and a mezzanine. I mean, it's a dream shop. Dream shop. It was a trucking company for 20 years. A dream shop. So on the outside of this building, the full length of the building is cement, and it's 300 foot wide. So you got like 100 feet by 300 foot concrete slab that they had containers on for, I assume, tires and oils and brakes, and all their other parts were all out in containers. Amazing. About a 6-acre parking lot. It's dirt, which is fine. Probably park 100 trucks on it. And then half of the land is woods. And behind the buildings is a river. So there's like no businesses behind you. And it's right on a rail spud. The only problem with the property is there's 2 ways in, right? One way comes in from the residential area. So like all your truck traffic would have to come in from the corner of the residential area. Because if you come in from the main road, there's a really steep railroad track. So I think you could probably get up there in a box van, but you ain't gonna get a step deck or a low boy in there at all, ever. No way. From the main entrance. But it is an industrial area, so you can get semis in the back way easy. 600. Which is a lot of money. But if you had that same piece of property near Atlanta, it'd be $5 million. So like, it's not a lot of money really when you think about it. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the office building. It already has like 5 bathrooms. Each bathroom has showers. And it was a full-on trucking company with, and it's super nice, right? Because the whole back of the building has separate entrances into a office with a bathroom and shower. So what I'm thinking is that their drivers could come in and spend the night and eat some food. They had a kitchen in there, eat some food and have a bed to sleep in, and then head out the next day. Maybe another driver would come in and use the room the next night. It was a pretty cool idea. But we were going to make the place into our house, but our local government said no. There's a lot of crookedness in local municipalities, as you guys probably already know. But let's see, how many dings are on the car nowadays? Steve, are you talking about the Charger? It's gone. Got rid of it and bought Jessica a new But a 2023, but brand new off the lot, 2023 Durango, all-wheel drive black with a 392. Don't ask me what the black package is. I think it's like black tips on the exhaust and black wheels. All right, David, we'll see you, brother. And yeah, I don't understand, Darren. They're like, well, we wouldn't want anybody living in there because, we wouldn't want, somebody to move in there that doesn't like trucks and doesn't like industrial stuff. And then they'll be complaining about the noise and everything. I'm like, so just give me a variance. As long as I'm alive and my wife is alive, we can live there. But once we're ready to sell, the variance goes away and it's just industrial. Who's going to care? Who's going to give a shit if James Pretty lives in his office building on acreage that nobody's doing anything with? Whatever. But anyways, we'll see. Yes. Yeah, I was just talking to Wayno about the dump truck yesterday. Wayno needs to slow down on his buying. He needs to accelerate a little bit on his selling. He's going to end up like James Pretty. Too many trucks, not enough life left. Oh, right on, Steve. Yeah, man, there's always time to catch up. That's the nice thing about video, is it's still there when you decide that you have time to watch it. Yeah. Well, what do you think? Hour 30. I probably talked the whole time. Any other questions before we call her a day? Thanks, David. Appreciate you. Yes, I did, Darren. That's one thing I can do. Like, the people I fly with get so irritated because I'm used to talking even when nobody's listening, because, I'm talking to myself with the camera going. And so I can talk. Like, I can talk. If we go on a 14-hour trip in the airplane, I can talk about 9.5 hours of it before I need a nap. So, pros and cons of being a YouTuber, I guess. But anyways, guys, I can get a caller done for the night. Hope all the information was good. All right, sounds good, Steve. Thanks, Gerald, for being here. Right on, Keith. Thanks, Darren, David. Everybody's here. Thanks, Adam, for being here. No luck on the steering gearbox yet. Later on, brother. We'll talk to you this week about X's progress. We'll see you, Darren. See you later, Kevin. See you, Mark.